Pete Alonso. How's it going?
Doing as well as I can be. I thank you, Howie. I appreciate you welcoming me in, and also want to say thank you everyone on this call for supporting us and really being a Met and playing as a Met is truly an honor, and playing every night that we can. It's truly a privilege because this hiatus, this time away for the game is just growing my appreciation, not just for the game of baseball, but for the city of New York and for the fans. Because when I throw on those threads, it's something special, and I wear the uniform with pride. And I just want to say thank you guys, and playing for you guys every single day is an honor. So thank you.
Well, you've thanked the people of New York in so many different ways, and one of them, I just want to hold up the logo right now that you've developed. You don't
Yep.
need to see my face. Take a look at this. This is Pete's new foundation, which he started along with his fiancee, Haley Walsh. It's called Homers for Heroes. And this is actually a pretty cool logo because, as you can tell, this makes out not only the number 20, but if you look very carefully, you can see how it forms the initials, PA. So that's some pretty fancy artwork there. What was your input into it? But, more importantly, when you're done with that, just tell us how this all came about and what its intentions are.
I mean, we just for the design thing, I got together with my agents and kind of just brainstormed and spitballed a couple ideas, and then eventually we came up with that. We thought it was a pretty good representation of something that would be associated with me. Obviously, the baseball, the polar bear, my number, and my initials, and I think it all artistically and aesthetically came together in a nice manner. But the whole foundation idea started after the donations that me and Haley made to the Wounded Warriors in the Tunnel to Towers. Once I got to meet some of the people that were impacted by those donations, I mean, I just seeing the faces on the families and the people. I mean, I got to meet some first responders, some wounded warriors, and it's like the main thing that they were really just incredibly thankful for was just the support. I mean, obviously, the assets that were donated, it's going to help support and help people in their cause. But the main thing that they were extremely thankful for is just the recognition, because what those people have sacrificed is tremendous. And I wanted to pay a respect to those people. And as me and Haley started to move forward in the progression of us wanting to start something, you're just like, man, these people are fantastic, like first responders, veterans, and those people sacrifice a lot, but those aren't the only people in the world that go above and beyond. Like you have coaches, school teachers, or just anybody who's trying to make a difference in their respective field, like someone who's working behind the scenes to really truly make something happen. I mean, if you just make one person's life exponentially better, you're considered a hero. And that's the whole ethos of our foundation, is because heroes are all among us. And there's so many stories that are untold, and there's so many layers and so many issues in our world, and we don't want to be locked into one thing, because the world is forever changing, and there's always going to be new challenges that we all have to overcome. And certain people, they're the ones that rise to the occasion. You want to recognize all those people, no matter what your job title is, no matter what you're doing. We want to bring the people that deserve to be brought to light. We want to give them a platform. We want to give them support, and we want to help out their mission.
Well, let's talk about it specifically, because you're going to honor a hero every month.
Yep.
And how does that come about for the individual who's being honored? I know there's a nomination process. Well,
Yeah.
what does the entire system entail before someone actually is honored?
So basically, anyone can nominate a hero on our website. So the website is www.homersforheroes.org. 4 is the number 4. And basically, we're going to be taking nominations through our website because Haley and I can only do so much research. We're still going to be doing a ton of research and searching for that person or that cause or that mission. But we're really relying on people who, I mean, everybody. We're relying on people in the community that if they see something extraordinary, we want to hear about it. And that's the inspiring thing too. It's like regular people that you are working with every single day, like, and you see something, if you're nominated by your peers that they think that you're going above and beyond and doing something exponentially great. See, that's the most rewarding thing ever. And also that's when we come in and we want to broadcast that to help your mission and help in the best way we can. So that's what we aim to do, and then I'm really excited about this whole journey and this whole project. I mean, hopefully, we can help people from years and years and years to come.
And you can't rig the system. I mean, it's not like Dom Smith or J.D. Davis are going to win this thing. I mean, it's going to be legitimate people
Yes.
who, and I would imagine that can this branch out as far as to simply say the checkout person at Publix or your local supermarket who's been going there every day knowing that there were inherent risks from the very beginning, and yet continuing to not only ring up groceries but do it with a smile and make the people in there who might be a little apprehensive under the circumstances feel comfortable, feel confident that they're in a safe environment. Are people even at that level and position eligible?
It could be any level, any sort of. It doesn't matter what you do for work. It doesn't. But we're looking for the impact on other people. We're looking because because kind of what you're talking about. That's just a tremendous impact. Like if you see that person have just this infectious positive impact on people in others, absolutely, that's 100% grounds for being nominated. So, I mean, whatever. I mean, we're looking to honor those people, not just on the website, but we'd love to bring those people to Citi Field if that's possible. But if someone's in a different, if there's someone in a different state, we gotta make something happen. Maybe we'll fly them there, or maybe like in the off season, I'll fly there. Like it's
That's good.
yeah, so it's just a matter of trying to make it happen and doing the best we can with whatever, because each individual person and is in a different I guess in a different circumstance. So if they can come to Citi Field, and that'd be outstanding. But if they're in a different area, or if the timing doesn't work out during the season, then I'd be more than happy to set something up for the off season, or try and do something else. Like maybe if I don't know, like we've kicked around a lot of ideas about maybe working with like certain hotels, like send people on a vacation or something like that. Like, I mean, we're trying to be really creative. We're trying to be out of the box. We want to create some awesome events as well. I mean, we're really looking to shoot for the stars in this one, and really just have an impact, do some cool events, pull off some fun and creative fundraisers, and be interactive with the community. That's the number one thing, because that's what this is about.
Well,
This is about everything.
I can actually and honestly say, having only known Pete since he came up last year, this is all totally heartfelt, and it's been remarkable to see the enthusiasm, the genuine enthusiasm with which you have integrated yourself, not, as I said earlier, only into the Mets community, if you will, but all of New York. Now, you're a Floridian, went to the University of Florida, so your background is down here. But the impact that you've made in New York is pretty special, considering the small amount of time that you've been connected there. When did that begin? In other words, when did your curiosity for all things New York click in once you got there last year?
I don't know. I feel like in a way that I mean, I feel like the universe works in really weird ways. I mean, my grandpa came over from Spain, and he made Queens his home, and he eventually he served in World War II, got his degree from NYU, and he met my grandma. She was a receptionist, and I don't know if he was. I knew my grandpa was smart because he said he didn't know how to type, but he knew how to type, and he had my grandma, type out his college essays, and they met actually like in Wall Street. So like I feel like New York is always like in a weird way. I feel like it's intertwined, and for me, I feel like it's a part of like me coming back when I mean it's one of this weird and comforting feelings. Like if for me, when I came to New York for the first time in 2016 as a Brooklyn Cyclone, it didn't feel too overwhelming. It felt comforting, and I mean, even though I've never really been there, so I've always felt that. I've always welcomed it. I've always embraced it, and it's always been a part of my lineage. And my grandpa, he grew up a big Bums fan. He's a huge Dodgers fan, and then obviously they left, and he was pretty upset about it. But I feel like coming back to Queens, where it all began on my grandpa's side and my dad's side of the family. I think that's extremely special. And I mean, for me, I honestly feel like the stars aligned.
You mentioned Brooklyn, and I've always wondered, because I don't think I ever really talked to any of the guys who played for the Cyclones about this, but you're on a minor league salary. You can't be expected to find an apartment in Brooklyn. Where did they put you guys up?
The Red Line Inn. I don't know. I forget what street. I don't know if the Red Line Inn is still there in that part of Brooklyn anymore. I think. But the beautiful thing about it is that I think we made close to $300 a month. Um, but I mean, in transportation, we would ride like in vans from Brooklyn all the way to Coney Island, which was never an easy drive. So I mean, it was kind of a grind, to be honest. But for me, I enjoyed it because at the Red Line Inn, there's this door, or not this door, this window. The glass was broken, but you could reach around and get to the rooftop because the glass was already broken, so you reach around and get to the door. And I will always remember this view of the city. It's at the top of this Red Line Inn. It was a $14 million view of New York City. And I got to see the skyline, and I knew that every time. So I think where we were, I think, west of Queens. Every time I would look at the city, and then I would look towards obviously where City Field was. I mean, it's like, this is where I want to be. This is the goal. I know I'm not there yet, but I know I want to be back here, not as a Cyclone. I want to be back here as a Met.
Well, frustrating thing is we're all looking at Citi Field as the goal, the place that we want to get back to right now, and it's completely beyond our control. So all we can do is kind of sit back and wait until the time is right and hopefully get on with it. And there are people who, of course, are in on this chat today who have plenty of questions as well. So I'm just going to punch one or two up here for you right away. How are you managing to stay as close to game shape as you can under these very restrictive conditions?
Well, I've been going on some runs. I've been lifting, I've been throwing, hitting, fielding. I've been doing everything as normal, but I've been doing it in groups of 4 or less. My gym is a private gym. It's basically a barn on 10 acres of land in the middle of horse country. So it's probably 20 minutes north of Tampa. I mean, it's out in this, I guess you could call it the sticks. So it's pretty segregated. And my trainer, he's the man. He's taken every single step for cleaning the gym. It's only me, my brother, him, and then one of my buddies who I work with for fielding. He's actually a minor league instructor with the Mets now. He's Stephen Negron. He's the fielding guy that I've been working with.
And I would imagine that can get pretty tedious too. Are there ways that you mix it up so that it's just not the same routine all the time?
Yeah, I mean, for hitting and taking ground balls, I every once in a while mix it up, take grounders at shortstop just to make it fun, and I work on barehanded plays and like Hollywood type plays just to mess around. Um, I'll take my batting practice um, and have fun with certain game situations. Thankfully, our hitting instructor, Tom Slater, he's the assistant big league hitting coach. He's in
Right.
Tampa. I've been hitting with him like separately, so it's been I've been getting a lot of work in. I've been getting. I mean, I'm ready whenever we get the green light and then the start button. I'll be ready.
We got a question for you from one of our viewers, and I don't want to shortchange this person. Let me make sure I can get the name right.
All right.
It is Casey Gould, who wants to know, because her daughter wants to know, if you weren't a first baseman, what position would you want to play?
I don't know. I'd like to play catcher. I mean, growing up, I used to catch. Um, then I mean, for me, it made sense. I don't know why. It's fun. It's fun getting beat up back there. I know some people wouldn't say that, but I mean, I guess I'm a little different. I got a couple screws loose. But I used to love playing catcher, and I used to love playing first. But first base was eventually the position that stuck, and that's what I am. But I feel like if I were to reincarnate as another baseball player, I think I'd probably be a catcher.
And you probably give everybody in the organization heart attacks because of what the wear and tear of that position does to you, and how ultimately you got to get out from that position to sort of preserve their bat. And of course, the bat is what produced the 53 home runs last year. And I could still see you practically floating around the bases after you hit number 53. But what kind of images, and this question is in large part from Karen DeFonso, who essentially just wants to know how it felt when you hit number 53, and also just what kinds of thoughts might have rifled through your mind as you toured the bases.
So during the entire month of like last half of August and in the first couple, or yeah, halfway through August and all the way throughout September, we're in a playoff race. And I couldn't think about chasing a home run record, because if I thought about chasing a home run record and being selfish, I wouldn't be able to help the team in a positive way. And as soon as I hit number 40 in Kansas City, I knew I had a chance to break it. But also at the same time, it's like I would trade being a home run champion in for a playoff race, or being a chance in the playoffs any day of the week. And I'm very happy that again, I'm very happy that I have that my name is there, and it's unbelievable. Like, and we tried and we did all we could, and that's all that matters. But like as the ball left the bat for 53, like the whole feeling of it didn't just happen. I didn't realize what I did until like I went back on the field. Like, it's like I realized kind of what I did as I was doing it. Like, I was so pumped up and so happy, and seeing the reaction of the fans is nuts. But I didn't realize until I walked back on the field that next, or like after that half inning, and I mean, obviously I started to cry, because for me, I'm just a kid from Tampa that was told he would never play college baseball. That told he would never play professional baseball. That told he would never get drafted high, or that was told wouldn't. Yeah, he's okay at. Yeah, he had a good year, but he's not going to succeed at the high levels in the minor leagues. Oh, he's not going to break camp. I was told no at every stage of my career, and having that moment happen, it's like every baseball moment that I've had since I was 3 years old, it all led up to that. And
So
that's
some of those people who might have told you you're not going to make it, the facial images of those people cross your mind as you're rounded the bases and take that, take that, take that?
No, that kind of settled in like later when the season was done. I'm like, y'all are stupid as hell.
Just send them an email and just say, hey, just want to check in and say hi.
No, they don't. No, I didn't need to check up on it. They already know.
But why did they tell you? You know what? We've heard guys who are not the biggest players say that they had to fight to make it because scouts said you're too small, or if you're a pitcher, you don't throw hard enough, or something like that. Mm-hmm. What did they look at as your limitations that made them think you wouldn't make it?
Well, I'm just a right first baseman. I gotta, like, my hit tool wasn't there. Yeah, he's power bat. Like, can he hit for average? Can he run the bases? Can he play defense? Yeah, he's strong, but can he basically be a good baseball player? That's every category. So I feel like for me, I just love to compete, and I love to win, and I feel like you can't quantify that in a kid, and that's one thing the scouts always overlooked, my drive to get better. And thankfully, John Updike of the New York Mets fought for me and selected me. I'm forever grateful for John.
And when they told you that you were not ready defensively to be a professional first baseman, never mind a major league first baseman, I know because we've talked about it, just how it motivated you to get better and better. But, you know, your defense was kind of misadvertised to us before last year, so much so that when Terry Collins, the former Mets manager, saw you play first base year before last in the minor leagues in 2018, Terry was up at Citi Field near the end of the year, and he said to us, and you know how animated Terry can be, he said, hey, I'm telling you now, he's not that bad at all at first base. He could play the position. So, you know, that was the first light bulb that went off that, okay, maybe you were being a little misrepresented. But now you take last year and compare it to where you want to go defensively. You think the Gold Glove, is that a goal that to you would mean more maybe even than the 53 homers if you get there someday?
I'm on a mission to win a Gold Glove. That's definitely a goal. And I feel like for me, being a good defender isn't necessarily like an individual thing. I feel like being a good defender is honestly being a good teammate, because you're going out there, you're going to put your body out there on the line. You're going to make every single play that comes your way to help the pitcher out. If you're doing your job, making all the quality plays, or even the quality plays, the ESPN plays, the routine plays, if you're out there doing your job, you're helping the pitchers, and the pitchers love you when you make all the plays. And also, it prevents people from scoring. So, and also as a first baseman, my job is to pick up my teammates. Like if there's a bad throws, I gotta do what I can to salvage it, pick it out of the dirt, or catch it out of the air, tag them off the bag, and just and also communicate. I want to be the best possible all-around teammate. Whether it doesn't matter on what side of the ball it is.
Got a few questions here around the same topic. There are several questions that go to specific topics, but one of them has to do with just very simply, what are you doing in terms of hobbies during all this extra time? Forget about baseball. I'm not talking about working out or even the foundation, but just the kind of hobbies that most of the rest of us might find ourselves leaning on during these periods of inactivity. What are yours?
I love to cook. I love to fish. So thankfully, we live close to the water. We've been out there kayaking. It's a good workout, and obviously, like being out in the water, you're away from people, so we're staying safe and getting a good cardio workout on the water. I mean, I've been doing a lot of playing Call of Duty, because if I win, or if my team wins the tournament, the winning proceeds are going to benefit the foundation. So all the late nights of my mom yelling at me to get off the damn Xbox. You know,
they could still do that even at your age and with your accomplishments. Get off the Xbox.
No, this was when I was younger.
So
back in the day, she had no idea. I told my mom, hey, Mom, You know me always pushing the time limit an extra 15, 20 minutes. She's like, yes. I'm like, it's paying off because we advanced to the semifinals in this video game. And she just shook her head and started to laugh. I'm like, yep, it's paying off, baby. It's paying off.
You know, you guys are so innately competitive. I don't know that people who don't have access to professional athletes could understand that it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like if you're walking down the street with a teammate, you could say to each other, I bet you I can get to the corner without running before you can, or something like that.
No, yeah.
Who is the most of your teammates now competitive to the point where it gets borderline ridiculous?
You already know the answer.
I'm not sure I did. Well, I could say Jake off the top of my head just because of how strong-willed he is on the mound. That'd be one guy that comes to mind. I'm eliminating you from this consideration. I'm thinking other teammates of yours. Jacob would be the first guy to come to mind.
Squirrel.
Oh, okay.
It's for like the absolutely just like.
Have you played golf with him? By the way, that's Jeff McNeil. Have you played golf with him?
No, I'll never play golf with him. I'll never. Because all I know is he's like, all right, I'll give you like, he's like, all right, $100 a hole, let's play. I'm like, Jeff, no, I'm gonna end up giving you $1,800. I haven't picked up a set of golf clubs in years. And he's like, oh, let's play. I'm like, Jeff, I want to go out and beat you on that golf course because it would bring nothing but happiness to me. But I physically cannot do that. It's a lose-lose battle. He's like, all right, well, bring me fishing and try and outfish me. I'm like, that's not going to – then we might as well just cancel it out and just go for fun. He's like –
So is there anything he does that's not competitive?
He absolutely beat me like a drum when we played MLB The Show against each other. I'm like, Jeff – he's like, all right, let me take it easy on you now, like being facetious. And I'm like, dude, just do your worst. Let me follow my sword. Like, don't be a. Let me. You don't
want to get patronized.
No,
that's not fun.
If you're gonna beat me, just beat me. Like, just score your runs. Don't play with me.
He's obviously a really, really good golfer. I mean, we know that story. Now you're saying you haven't picked clubs up in forever, and I don't even want to guess the number because I'm afraid it might actually start with a 3. But what's your best drive, or how far will you routinely hit it off the tee? Please don't start it with a 3.
I mean, I've hit balls out of Topgolf. I mean, that's all I know.
Really?
Yeah, but then okay. So here's the story. That's the last time I picked up a golf club. Messed up my baseball swing for like 6 years.
Oh, okay. Well, that I believe.
So yeah. So for me, if I'm picking up clubs, there's no chance that I'm going to be locked in baseball wise. I got one swing that I got to worry about. Yes. I can't be worrying about 2. And I can't see. For me, like as a ball player, that's not who I am. I can't like. I wish I could be like Jeff and go out and shoot a 63 and then go 3 for 4 that day, which he's done.
He has shot 63 playing golf the afternoon of a night game and then had 3 hits that night.
A morning, like he'll have a morning tee time on an off. He'll have a morning tee time on an off day, or even like a morning tee time like day of a game, like probably like a 9 a.m. tee time, and then he'll probably be done. I don't know. He's good. He plays quick. So.
Hey, I don't know what the big deal is about 63. I could do that in an hour and a half. That's no challenge, really.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Let me see a couple of these other questions that we're getting from some of our viewers here. And this is actually kind of interesting because for a guy who is already established as a home run hitter, you might think the answer is easy, but somebody just with the initials MM wants to know, do you have a tendency to swing for power or contact?
I don't want to swing with intention of power. I don't want to swing with an intention of contact. My goal is to hit the ball in the sweet spot. So for me, I think if I work finely, trying to make contact on the sweet spot, the ball's going to go. For me, I want to be able to consistently hit hard line drives. If I hit a hard ground ball and I'll get lucky and find a hole or shoot a hole through the infield, there's 9 other guys out there. Chances are most of the time they're going to catch the ball. But ideally, if I'm going to hit the ball hard and have the intent of just absolute smashing a laser line drive in the middle of the field, those line drives they turn into doubles and home runs if you just miss this far underneath. So for me, I just want to hit the ball as hard as I can consistently, and I want to work on the sweet spots because contact. You could hit a ball like right here next to your fist, and then you're making contact. I want to work with the sweet part of the bat, the big part of the barrel.
But the one thing I guess that this period of inactivity that we all have has enabled us, the whole generic us, to do is to stay in touch with people in some cases that, we see every now and then, but we're kind of checking up on each other. But a team, guys who travel together all year and basically spend 6, 7, sometimes as many as 8 months a year together virtually every day. There's a bond that develops there. So during this particular period, how have you guys managed, or you at least specifically, to stay in touch with certain, if not most, of your teammates?
Well, there's various group chats. There's been a couple Zoom calls, and for us, it's just a matter of reaching out because, like you said, we spend so much time together, and you can't deny the bond. But also, one thing that's really been awesome is people don't think about this element about video games. Like I played with Jeff, I played with Nims, and it's cool to connect with certain people. Like, yeah, you're playing a video game together, but I mean, the whole purpose is to talk. I mean, obviously you'll have conversations on the phone, you'll exchange texts, but there's so many different ways in today's world where you can connect with people and talk with people. And I think that now I know we're all itching to get back, but not just the Mets, but every single ball player. I mean, I feel like we're really uniting because all of us are facing the same issues, and all of us are being connected and united because we're all facing the same issues, and which I think is a really good thing because for us, we know what we're all going through, and I think it's a special fraternity that I'm grateful to be a part of.
Well, and that includes not only Major League Baseball, but the New York Mets, especially because, Pete, before we let you go, I think you know pretty well how easily you individually and your group as a whole connected with the fans last year. And I'm convinced that a lot of it has to do with the fact that a big part of the core of this team, I mean, Jacob came up a few years before, same with Noah Syndergaard, and guys like yourself and Jeff McNeil and Brandon Nimmo and even J.D. Davis, although he had a cup of coffee in Houston, and Dom Smith. Most of you guys came through the system.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some not directly. Has that strengthened the bond that you have as New York Mets?
No, absolutely. And I honestly think the one thing that really strengthened us as a whole, and what we really found out about ourselves was having the first half. And having the first half last year was obviously tough. It was tough sledding, no doubt. But the one thing that helped us change everybody's collective group, I can't talk about this enough because it's very, because we were 11 and a half games back, or 11 and a half games under 500.
That's the All-Star break, yeah.
The All-Star break. And to finish like
3 games out, right?
3 games, like 2.5 or 3 games away from being in the playoffs, that's just a crazy feat in itself. And the amount of high-quality character in that clubhouse, every single guy at their locker, high character. Like, they went about their business the right way, even though that the cards weren't very heavily stacked against us.
Well, Pete, thanks so much. I know that all of those who are on this call today appreciate everything that you've done away from the field for the Mets. As I say, to totally integrate yourself into the fabric of what it means to be an athlete in New York. it transcends celebrity. It's a commitment. And I mean, I just to see it firsthand, I'm so impressed by what you've done in such a short amount of time, not only for the Mets, but for New York and on a larger scale for Major League Baseball. So good luck. Thank you for joining us today. And I can't wait to see you and your teammates in person.
Oh, of course, Howie. Thanks for having me. And also thank you everyone for hopping on this call. And as always, LFGM.